Ag PhD full episodes and more are now available on Acres TV, the newest ag platform connecting you to fields of information. Look for us on watchacrestv.com.
During our Farm Basics time today, we're going to talk about aerial application versus ground application, or at least what we call ground application. We do get some questions from time to time from non-farmers about this, so we just wanted to explain some of the differences and the reasons why we use each one and when we use each one on our own farm.
I just want to take an easy example from this year. When you look at April, May, and June on our farm, it seemed like it just didn't want to stop raining. And when it's rainy, that means it's going to be muddy out in the fields. And if your option for spraying is a ground rig, well, there aren't going to be very many good days that you can get out there, and it's going to be really tough to do at times.
Okay, but what we mean by a ground rig is a sprayer that is running on the ground, whereas aerial application would be something like an airplane, a helicopter, or a drone, that new technology. We'll talk about that a little bit today too. So anyway, the ground rig could be self-propelled, so it's just one machine with the sprayer, everything, or like on our farm for many years, we had what we called a pull type sprayer. So we ran a tractor and pulled a sprayer behind it. So anyway, ground rig, aerial, those are the differences.
Well, obviously not every farmer has got a helicopter or an airplane. In fact, few farmers do, but a lot of farmers have a ground rig. They may have a sprayer they pull behind, or they may have a self-propelled sprayer. And when you've got a ground rig, it's kind of nice if you're totally in control. Oh, I need to spray something, the field is dry, it's the time to do it, I can just go ahead and do that.
Well, either way, it's nice when you're totally in control. If you have the aerial applicator or the ground applicator, it's great because you can go spray when you want to spray. But like Darren said, for most farmers, they only have the ground rig, they don't have the aerial machine, so they have to call someone in, and you may be down on the list, so it might be a few days. But anyway, on our farm this spring, we did have our alfalfa sprayed because we had insects out there, and we had to go now, otherwise we were going to lose a lot of our alfalfa to some insects. Well, it was way too wet. We would have totally tracked up the field with our ground rig, so we called a plane in, and they did a great job, and we got the problem solved immediately. Fortunately, there weren't a lot of other people wanting aerial application done right then, so we were first on the list, got it sprayed immediately, and got the bugs eliminated.
Well, here's something that's nice about the ground rig. If you've got power lines that run through your field, or you've got a really uneven shaped field, well, you can drive around, you can take your time, and you can get all the work done. With an airplane or a helicopter, sometimes that can be awfully tricky, especially if there's overhead dangers that they can't really get in between. Maybe you've got windmills that are on your farm, that kind of thing. It's not always conducive for those big rigs. In this case, a drone might be a good thing too. If you've got just a little tiny field and you've got a bunch of trees around, well, you can go in there with a drone and fly that little tiny field. It might even be more convenient to do that than to use a ground rig or any aerial application.
Yeah, so a lot of people are asking us, well, what do we think about these drone applicators? Our number one concern at this point is we just haven't seen them on very many acres. We'd like to see them out on a lot more acres, see some more testing, because our fear is we won't have enough water volume to get good coverage on the plant. That's one of the keys. Whatever you're spraying, fungicide or herbicide, you've got to have good coverage either on the weed or on the plant. So we want to make sure that we're properly vetting that out, and we see, all right, is the drone going to be just as good? Is it going to be a little bit less for control? And then we can kind of weigh that out in the future and decide, hey, do we want to do this on a regular basis or not?
Well, there are a lot of things that farmers may need to do in season. So they've got a crop out in the field, they may need to spray out some weeds or some bugs or put some disease protection out, or even put on a foliar fertilizer or something to feed their crop a little better. And there are different ways they can do that. They can do it with machines that drive on the ground and apply the product. They can do it with a helicopter or an airplane or even a drone. There are some great options in agriculture today. Now, one of the things that they may be out there trying to spray is our weed of the week. Can you identify this week's weed?